Hey everybody, happy Saturday to you. Mark again here, Weatherman. Plus, I got a big update on your forecast for today and tomorrow. And unfortunately, our area has grown for a chance for strong to violent tornadoes later on for today. This puts in North Texas, Oklahoma, going into Kansas, also going into Missouri. Now we have a lot of strong lift, a lot of convection, and as soon as it busts through the upper atmosphere, whatever forms will grow instantly into a very powerful, potentially monster tornado, long track, bringing a lot of damage. Then as you go overnight for tonight, this is going to track into a big cluster of storms that's going to bring a lot of high winds. Still got chances for tornadoes also and hail. And as we go into tomorrow, we're going to get this bow and line segment. It's going to turn to this potential QLCS. We're going to get a quasi-linear line of storms. Then it's going to grow right towards start time, right towards Indianapolis, where they have the Indy 500. I used to work for Zore's Towing over there in Indianapolis when we had the police contract. And actually, when it's time for the Indy 500, it's like Mardi Gras. They have all kind of people on the side of the road selling things, all kind of people doing the tailgating everywhere around the track. I couldn't even get through there with a tow truck with a lot of lights. This is going to bring a big frontline storm with bowing out, potentially bringing some hail. The hail is kind of shrinking down, but bringing damaging winds with it, 50 up to 60 miles per hour wind gusts, and chances for a tornado. You cannot rule out a potential embedded cell in there. So I will show you all the latest information. That way you can better prepare for what is coming. If you know someone that is going to that race, please share this information to them. Let them know what is coming. I will put a link in the description for them just to go to that portion of what is expected so far, according to what the model data says on HRRR. And we will go back to that and zoom in and see if we can get a better timing of all these storms for today, overnight, also for tomorrow. Remember, timestamps are in the description also, so you can just go straight to that. Whatever you need, I got that for you. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you click that bell, and support the video. Hit the like button, share it to others. Now, yesterday, we had a weird day. Not only did we have 5 tornado reports, we had 1 in North Dakota, we had 3 in northwestern Illinois, and we had 1 on those cells going out by the Carolinas for North Carolina as it was going out. So this is really popping up in odd places. We also had some wind gusts and some wind damage and some hail as well. I just thought that was very odd where we had tornado reports yesterday. Another alert I want to put to you that goes for today right now. Now you see on the legend, all this yellow is moderate. So everyone here, this is your air quality. You'll be okay as far as the moderate section. This is still the wildfires that's growing from Mexico. And now when you have this orange here, the orange signifies unhealthy for sensitive groups like asthma and such. But all that red is unhealthy. So all the particulates in the atmosphere for breathing, going from Corpus Christi on down through southern Texas, you got to watch out for bad air quality, unhealthy for today. So be aware if you're doing strenuous activity or any kind of outside yard work, be aware of the air. And over here in the orange, as it goes towards Laredo, as it goes towards Victoria, this is unhealthy for sensitive groups like asthma. There is another little area over here, a little southwest of San Marcos. So you have some bad air quality for today. Just be aware of that. Now, so far as of this update, there is no high risk just yet for our chances for severe weather for today. I'm still expecting one somewhere around northern Texas going into Oklahoma. That is where I'm expecting a high risk for your chances for tornadoes. So far, you do have the significant severe in this black area. That's chances for strong to violent tornadoes, especially in this red area. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the tornado threat for today. It will bust a cap around 6 p.m. and it will start for northern Texas and Oklahoma, and it could start immediately to strong and violent tornadoes. You also have strong winds for today, even hurricane force winds expected, significant severe in all this black hatched area, and maybe even stronger in this 45% region. Plus you have storms moving through the Ohio and Pennsylvania through the northeast. This is going to be minor still in hail as it goes across the southeast also. But just keep in mind, we didn't expect that tornado to pop up on the edge of North Carolina also, so just be aware of your surroundings. But so far, here's your cities and states at risk for the chance for the winds for today. And the hail threat, they're expecting up to 4 inches in diameter. So you have a significant severe in this black area that's at least 2 inches in diameter. But you really need to watch out for this 45% area. And you do see for the northeast and the southeast, there is a 5% for the winds and for the hail. So here's your cities and states at risk for the hail threat for today. National Weather Service has an outbreak of severe thunderstorms is possible from late afternoon into tonight over parts of the central and southern plains. A few long-lived supercells capable of intense tornadoes may occur. Giant hail and destructive wind gusts are also expected. And you can see why it's going to be strong for today. Your setup, you have very strong dew points pulling up the 70s into the atmosphere. Look at this. You even get into the high 70s. This right here will flood your atmosphere with particulates and make these storms very dense and potentially growing big. This also will carry overnight, feeding right into that line of 70s, and for tomorrow as it goes towards Indianapolis, towards your race, still feeding into high 60s, get into the 70s. Also your lift, your convection. You see you get a lot of lift, a lot of convection all day long. Then once you get around 5 or 6, look at all this instability in the atmosphere. This is trying to burst through the warmer temperatures aloft, and you see it does stay strong the whole time. Then you start getting storms firing up as you go from 6 p.m. in on, and that moves through Oklahoma. Then it travels towards Nebraska, towards Kansas, towards Iowa, Missouri. This is where it changes for the night. But before that, it taps into all this strong convection. This is why you got chances for as soon as it begins, you're going to get strong and potentially the violent tornadoes. Also, it will go overnight, feeding into all this strong lift for these thunderstorms to keep on rolling overnight. Then for tomorrow, you got a lot of strong lift for that potential QLCS, that Bowen line segment, to come out to feed into those thunderstorms as it passes by Indy and the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes also. And you can see this once you get around 6 p.m. Remember, we will go zoom in so you can see the cities and everything a little bit better. Once you get around 6 p.m., there's those cells popping up, and they do feed on very strong, significant tornado perimeters. Look at this. Right around 6 p.m., it bursts immediately into the highest number you can get for a chance for a tornado. And look how it grows through the evening. Anything that grows in that atmosphere will be strong, it will be severe, it will be potentially violent and long lived, because the atmosphere is primed for a lot of growth. Then as you go overnight, it's going to hang around, especially on the southern side of the storm. I will show you as this moves through overnight hours, still a lot of strong perimeters for chances for a good tornado. Then as you go for tomorrow morning, it does stretch into southern Illinois as well from Missouri. Then as you go for the race for Indy, you can see it starts losing its chances for a tornado. But that second line of storms might spark up another quick chance before that goes away also. So you can see that here. There's those storms, and as you grow through the night, it does grow with a lot of precipitation. Look at the color in there. It does grow to a lot of big potential storms forming for northern Texas going to southern Oklahoma. We will zoom in for the cities. Remember that. As you go into later in the evening, when it can feed on all that energy, it starts leaving Texas. It leaves Oklahoma definitely by 11 o'clock, potentially all the way to midnight, but definitely by 11. And that's where your chances of tornadoes is gone. It will not come back. But now you have it growing for Kansas, for eastern Nebraska. Eastern Nebraska, you could get some on the southern side because it follows the southern side of these storms. The northern side of this will be chances for damage and winds as that goes through the evening. But look at that cell right around 1 a.m. A lot of convection, a lot of dew points. That is a ugly color of precipitation. That's potentially another strong tornado that could form up as you get this cluster of storms coming together. And look how it goes all morning long. Look at the color of precipitation on the storms on the southern side. Remember, the southern side is where you have your best chance to get a tornado overnight. As it goes through Kansas, as it goes through Missouri, still bringing a strong group of storms with a lot of precipitation in there. And look how it goes all the way to the early morning hours, and it bends into southern Illinois as well. Still got a lot of pink in there, chance to get an embedded cell in there, and this is where your strongest chance for tornadoes will be. Then you're going to get a straight line damage and wind event and potentially turn into a QLCS. This is where you get a quasi-linear line of storms forming up, and each one of these little divots could easily get an embedded cell, get a chance for a tornado as this pushes through for noontime, and then it pushes through a little bit further. You can see the northern side is going to be damage and winds. The southern side is where you get your chances for your hail and, unfortunately, your tornadoes as that bows out for tomorrow afternoon. Then it goes through Kentucky, bringing you the threat. Then it'll grow also as it goes through the evening, more for Missouri, more for Illinois. When you get that convection again, you get the dew points again, the atmosphere re-energizes. Got chances for severe weather again. While these storms head through Wisconsin, through the UP of Michigan, I don't think you need to worry too much about those storms. This right here is where you bring in potentially damaging winds as you go tomorrow night, and then stretching down to the south as you go early in the morning. But when you look at your winds aloft, your lower level winds, you can see right around 9 or 10 o'clock, even though you got strong convection, you got some winds that's still helping with these storms getting wind direction change for height. But the storm cells that grow from Oklahoma going into Kansas, as you go later in the evening, your winds aloft get stronger on those storms. And that's unfortunately going to bring you chances for tornadoes late night, overnight. Look at the strength of these winds here. Now you're getting over 70 knot winds. Very powerful on those cells as they go overnight into southern Missouri. And as you go for tomorrow morning, as it goes into Illinois, bringing winds on those cells as well that had all that dark pink in there, had all the pink chances for significant severe. Chances for tornadoes to go northern and then follow for southern Missouri through southwestern Illinois. Then you start losing some of your winds. You're in pockets. This is going to bring your damage and winds, but you can't rule out a chance for a tornado as you go by tomorrow. Right before it goes by Indy, you can see the northern side kind of weakens down, but that southern tail where you had those pink cells, chances for a tornado on those as well. You got a lot of strong winds aloft on those as it goes all through the evening for tomorrow. Showing chances for very large hail to grow through those cells for northern Texas. And as you go later in the evening, it grows up more so far for Kansas and Nebraska on your hail rather than what grows in Oklahoma. Then the overnight hours does go through Iowa, kind of light, stronger through central Missouri as that goes overnight in the morning on those cells that's going through southwestern Illinois. Look at this. Very strong trail of very large hail and potentially tornadoes coming with those cells as well. And then as it goes in for tomorrow, look how it still spreads over Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky getting strong again. And tomorrow night it goes further down to the south. Showing so far anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per hour wind gusts. Even shows a cell maybe getting 70 in there. This part will update, still showing damage and winds. But the overnight storms going from Kansas to Nebraska, you see 60 and 70 in those cells as it goes all night through Missouri, then early for tomorrow morning, bringing all those winds, 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts. Then for tomorrow, as it goes through Illinois and Indiana, it gets stronger and you get a lot of winds. Remember those winds aloft, I did show you, going all around towards Wisconsin, bringing y'all 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts, 50 in the orange, 60 in the red, 70 in the brown, as this banding comes right through Indy. Everyone outside on the side of the streets, selling stuff, eating hot dogs, having a good time. Goes through Ohio, goes through Kentucky, and goes even further. But look at this. Very concerning. The banding that I am seeing on this is very concerning. Look at this. This is where the storms are going to be. This is the banding out, the big bowing that you see, the big bowing line segment as the storm passes by. Now look at the winds that you have for that. You have 50, you have 60, you have 70 in the brown. Very strong winds coming with that for tomorrow. Please, if you know someone that's going to that race for tomorrow, let them see this information. So here we go for tomorrow. You have that big slight risk. You got the enhanced section. The enhanced section is not going to be for tornadoes. Your tornado chance is a 2%, but you got a 5% right on that Bowen line segment as that pushes to the south and east. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the tornado threat for tomorrow, for Sunday. Also, your wind threat. That's what your enhanced section is for. You do have significant severe in all this black section. At least chances for hurricane force winds in that black section. Plus, you have the 30% that has high winds. You have high winds all the way to this 15%. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the damage and winds for tomorrow, for Sunday. Also, the hail threat. You see, you still have the hail threat. You see how it starts losing its hail as that banding comes across like I was showing you. Still showing it could be for southern Indiana going through Kentucky as well. This portion may grow. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the hail threat for tomorrow. Now, for Sunday, this is very important. Listen to this. Widespread strong to severe thunderstorm development appears possible across parts of the southeastern Great Plains and lower Missouri Valley into the Ohio and Tennessee valleys, Sunday afternoon through Sunday night. It is possible this could include the evolution of at least one large, long-lived, organized cluster of storms, posing a risk for damage and wind gusts from parts of east central Missouri and west central Illinois through much of Kentucky and adjacent portions of northern Tennessee. So far for Monday, you do have the 5% and you have the 15% chance for severe weather. So far, here's your cities and states at risk. Matter of fact, we just got a newer run that just come in with HRRR, so I think you will like the outcome, especially if you're going to the Indy race. You got to see this. It's been showing a little bit of dissipation on the northern side. I think you will like the latest update. Now for today, we do have chances for significant tornadoes, and this starts around 6 p.m. So far, HRRR is suggesting sometime around 6 to 7 as it passes by for northern Texas. We'll start getting these hail cores, these potential supercells forming up. Remember, this is Central Time, right around northern Texas. And you can see this does go by DFW as you go by 7 and 8 o'clock. Keeps going on that higher ridge away from Dallas, goes right by Denton, keeps moving to the east, then maybe a hail core around 10. Then it starts weakening down. So I just want you to be aware of that before we start moving further to the north. That's what you have. Then for Oklahoma, as it goes through potentially Oklahoma City, as you get around 7 o'clock, almost 8 o'clock for tonight. These storms are going to start strengthening as it passes by Lawton potentially, and then going right past Oklahoma, showing that the severity is not on the northern side, it's on those cells on the southern side as that pushes to the east. And that don't put Oklahoma City in too much of a risk from what I can see. Now as we go further to the north and we see what we have for Kansas, it really starts sparking up after you get around 9 o'clock. Start getting something around Wichita, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. As this passes by for 9 o'clock through 10, you get a chance for strong hail cores on that one also, a little south of Concordia. As it goes through 11, chances for large hail, especially in the black right there. The white is large. That black is definitely going to be some very large hail as that passes by 11 o'clock. Now you're talking about midnight. Still got a lot of chances for large hail on the southern side. I'm just trying to show you the chances for the tornadoes as well. We still got chances for the hail. This one's growing a little bit bigger into Kansas City as you go towards 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 5 o'clock. Then by 6, it's moving to the east. So let's go up a little bit further and see what we have going on for Nebraska, moving through South Dakota, also moving into Iowa. So let's put it on our chances for our severe weather. You are in the marginal as you go through the evening for tonight. Maybe a little bit of hail in there, not looking like super severe for all y'all up there. It's like some regular thunderstorms passing through. It's going to be a little bit of nuisance, bringing you some heavy rainfall. Now for tomorrow, this is where we're going to change. This is where we have the chance moving through Indy, and I really want to move through this. And you can see over here for Wisconsin, you're not in the severe. Southern Wisconsin a little bit. I'm not seeing a big threat. Maybe a little bit of storms, a little thunder boom storms might come by. But as we go by for tomorrow morning, this is where you have that threat still moving into Illinois. So as we go by for tomorrow, as we go by 6 o'clock in the morning, look at this for Missouri. Let's go through Missouri a little bit better than that. So as we start for around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, storms are going to come through northern Missouri, southern Missouri, like around Springfield. Some stronger cells showing some chances for hail with those passing through. And as you go by 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6, 7 o'clock. Now, once you get around 8, 9 o'clock, this is where this is going to move to the east, but it's going to grow again for you. I will go through Illinois, Indiana. I will go through that, which I just want to show Missouri that later on, as you go later in the evening, you're going to get some more storm cells that's going to burst up all the way from northern Missouri going towards Springfield, Illinois again. That's going to stretch out, bringing you chances for hail all the way to later in the evening. So there's going to be 2 rounds of storms that's going to pass by. Southern Missouri is not too much in that second round. Trying to do the best I can for timing for you guys. So I hope this is okay. If it is, let me know by hitting that like button. So as we start for tomorrow morning, you see around 7 o'clock, showing it could be hail cores moving all the way from Peoria, all the way through St. Louis, all the way down below DeSoto. Bring a lot of hail cores through Missouri as that comes into Illinois as well. You see the hail cores through Poplar Bluff as this goes through 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Now you got this big line of storms moving through with hail cores through them. You can see on the northern side, not really a big threat. It will be from central Illinois and south. And you can see all the hail cores in this line of storms as this moves through. As you go through 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, this moves further through. Now, this is what's changed in the information on the latest run. We had a huge Bowen line segment coming out from HRRR, showing it will go right through Indy. You saw it in the beginning of the video. That portion has changed. Matter of fact, in the beginning, when I showed you that the northern side didn't have all the hail course, it was on the southern side. Look at the latest information. So while you're going through potentially the race, for 11 o'clock for tomorrow, for 12, for 1 o'clock, you still got the straight line storms moving through, still bringing some damaging winds with them. Not a lot of hail course showing in there. You see some storms. Watch how it dissipates as that passes by. So the latest run has shown that it will be a weakening after that goes by, which is a good thing. It's still coming by, but it's not showing as strong as before. And then that group that comes from Missouri will come through Springfield, Illinois. Will also go through Indy as you go through later in the evening around 7, 8 o'clock. Maybe bringing some hail with that line of storms as that pushes through. Showing that has a better chance. Will be quick moving, but has a better chance and to linger around. So if your race is not over by 8 o'clock, you definitely have some storms pushing through with these hail cores as that comes by later in the evening. Now, once again, this is subject to change. However, the trend is showing that is going to be a weakening as this moves through for Indy. So far, it is showing sometime around noontime, and where it starts, 11 and 12 o'clock, moving through with these storms, showing that it loses its intensity in the hail, but still has the winds with it, still have some strong cells as that pushes through. And after you go by 1 and 2 o'clock, it's going to be past. It's going to be time to drive the track and get back to racing before that next group of storms comes for 7, 8 o'clock. Now, you do see for Kentucky, these also move further to the south. So after you get these storms moving through, after you go by 2 p.m. and on, you get some nasty hail cores moving through Kentucky. Remember, you do have chances for tornadoes as well as that pushes to the south. Look, nasty hail cores coming with that line of storms. Then it will grow again for tomorrow night as it goes through the southern side. And we get another line of storms, so far showing around 11 o'clock. This portion could change as well. Remember, you have the ones that's coming around 8 by Indy. Now, after that pushes over, that's going to go through Kentucky. But once you get around 11, that big line of storms that pushes through from Indy to southeastern Illinois, it's also going to push all the way down towards Arkansas through Tennessee, and that's bringing hail with that all the way down through the night, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. A lot of strong storms still coming. I would go a little slower for this, but I will be uploading first thing in the morning. That way we can see what's going on with the latest update with that. But if you know someone that's in these storms, obviously is covering a lot of real estate, especially someone that's going to the Indy 500, please share this video. Let them know what is coming so you get the latest information. I do appreciate every single one of y'all for helping. And a quick reminder, Romans 5, 8, and 9. But God commendeth his love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Much more then, being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved from wrath through him. Amen. Have a great Saturday, everybody. Happy Sabbath to everyone that is taking their Sabbath. I hope you have a blessed day today. And remember, all glory always goes to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope he keeps you safe every single day of your life and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great day, everybody, and be safe.